Hi and welcome to the Daladala community. I'm Yaria. Today I'm here to share some important and useful info about intellectual property to get you started on the right field here at Daladala. So you will officially join a Chinese online video sharing platform. Every day, billions of people create and share videos through Daladala. These videos are the heart and soul of our platform. It's our job to keep things running smoothly, making sure we create a fun, sustainable, and energetic environment for users to share, enjoy, and connect over videos. It's important for every Daladala employee to understand the laws and ethical standards around intellectual property, because we all need to do our part to make sure everything is fair and above board. There are several reasons why intellectual property law is essential in the media industry. First, the law protects content creators' rights to use their knowledge exclusively. Let me give you an analogy to help explain. Imagine you own a house. To keep it exclusively for yourself, you might build a fence around it. But unlike physical goods, the use of knowledge and creative works is non-rival. In other words, even if someone claims ownership of knowledge, it's hard to stop others from using it. So, if we think of knowledge as a house, intellectual property law is like a fence, protecting the right of content creators through legal means. Second, the law provides a legal framework that helps platforms develop and maintain a fair and healthy ecosystem. Today, we can easily access other people's intellectual works through various media. But what would happen if there were no intellectual property law? Well, people could freely copy, distribute, modify, and profit from other works without permission. And of course, no one would want to create original media products because the cost of making the first copy would be high and the rewards would be low. Without the right incentives and protection, people's motivation to create would take a huge hit, which would harm the very foundation of innovation and diversity in the media industry. What's more, this would lead to an overwhelming flood of pirated content on platforms, causing serious damage to original works, disrupting the markets, and damaging the platform's reputation. In today's information age, intellectual property law is widely recognized in China's media industry. The consequences of non-compliance can be severe. In the short term, works that don't comply with the law won't be allowed to show on publicly. The creators and platforms may face lawsuits from copyright holders and could even be hit with hefty fines. In the long term, the platform's risks grow, potentially leading to a loss of users, strained relationships with content providers, advertisers, and business partners, and even administrative penalties from the government. Now that you understand why intellectual property law is so important, let's dive into the relevant laws. There are two main components of intellectual property. First, industrial property, which includes trademarks, patents, industrial designs, and more. Second, copyright, which covers literary and artistic works. As an online video sharing platform, we mainly focus on the latter, copyright. In China, copyright law is primarily governed by the copyright law of the People's Republic of China. Let me explain a little bit more about that. Here's a guy A. He created an original work. According to the law, the copyright of the work belongs to A, the creator. As an employee of an online video sharing platform, there are some important copyright concepts you need to know. First, there's the right of adaptation. This means the right to change the work to create something new and original. and the right of completion, which is the right to combine works or part of works into a new one based on the selection or arrangement. Second, there's the right of performance. This gives the creator the right to publicly perform their work in various ways. Third, the right of communication of information on networks means the right to share a work with the public, either via wild or wilderness methods, so people can access it at the time and place of their choosing. For example, if A creates an original video, he has the right to share it on Daladala. Now, think about this situation. A has created a song. Here's guy B, who wants to sing the song for the public. Does B need to ask for A's permission? The answer is yes. A has the right of performance, so B must get A's consent before performing the song. Once that's done, as the performer, B gains neighborhooding rights, including the right to record the performance and share it. Similarly, if guy C wants to adapt or comply A's work, C also needs to get A's permission. After that, C will have the neighborhooding rights of communication of information on networks. In addition, the law allows for certain fair use situations. In some cases, works can be used without the creator's consent. For example, it's okay to quote portions of a work for a purpose of introducing, commenting, or explaining it. Many videos in one of Daladala's popular columns, movie commentaries, are great examples of this type of fair use. Fair use also applies in the case of free performances, where performers aren't paid. Audiences also don't pay any fees, and the performance isn't for profit. For instance, a creator can upload a video of their performance or someone else's work without permission, as long as it meets the definition of fair performance. For videos on Daladala, if the creators don't meet the requirements mentioned above, they will be considered in violation of intellectual property law. While the infringement is the responsibility of the video creators, it can also affect our platform. There's a general rule called Safe Harbor Privacy Principle, which states that if an internet service provider is notified of an infringement, they have to remove the content. If they don't, it will be considered as an infringement on the platform's part. This rule comes from the Digital Millennium Copyright Act in the United States and has since been introduced into civil code and other laws in China. On the one hand, it protects the platform from joint liability when infringement occurs. On the other hand, it requires internet service providers to be diligent in managing and reviewing content on their platform to avoid copyright disputes. In 2024, a Chinese online video sharing platform, Bilibili, was found guilty of failing to fulfill its review obligations and was ordered to pay the plaintiff nearly 133,000 CNY for damages and expenses. This case has once again reminds us the importance of complying with intellectual property laws. Here are some practical guidelines you should follow to make sure you are in line with intellectual property laws in your future work. First, always respect others' intellectual property. Recognize and appreciate the intellectual achievements of others and value their work. It's also important to get familiar with intellectual property laws. Take time to learn and understand the key principles that govern intellectual property laws. Secondly, you will need to know how to report infringing content. As you work with various videos on Daladala, you will get better at spotting potential copyright violations. When you see one, take action by reporting it and notifying the platform so our team can handle it properly. Be sure to familiarize yourself with the company's content reporting procedure. Usually, this means filling out the report form and letting the content management team know so that they can investigate and take the right steps. Let's work together with Daladala community to create the positive and legally compliant platform. By respecting intellectual property rights, we are helping to build a thriving ethical environment that benefits everyone. Thank you and enjoy your journey in Daladala.